Twinkle, twinkle, little star, can you really tell us who we are? Can the stars shape our destiny? Today, we're talking about astrology. But before we do, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss any of our videos. Now, since prehistoric times, man has looked up to the stars and wondered about the future. They've tried to find some connection between celestial beings and their daily lives. Should I go to war? Check the stars. Will I be a great king? Check the stars. Should I get married to this girl or that one? Check the stars. Even now, you'll often hear people talk about their zodiac or sun signs. Oh, I don't date Libras. Oh, he is such a Scorpio. There are even many Christians who look at their horoscopes, some just for fun while others take it seriously. So, how did it become such a big part of modern culture? Is it okay for Christians to practice astrology and look at horoscopes? To answer this, let's first look at what astrology is. Now, astrology shouldn't be confused with astronomy, which is a study of objects and matter outside the Earth's atmosphere and of their physical and chemical properties. Astrology is defined as a divination of the supposed influences of the stars and planets on human affairs and terrestrial events by their positions and aspects. Divination means the art or practice that seeks to foresee or foretell future events or discover hidden knowledge, usually by the interpretation of omens or by the aid of supernatural powers. So basically, ancient cultures used to use the pattern of the sun, moon, stars, and the planets to predict the future. Here's a clip of the origin of the practice.
In ancient times, the night sky was a dazzling mystery, this vast array of stars. And gradually, there was an understanding that certain things could come from this. You could read it as a calendar. You would know when to plant your crops. You would know when the floods might come.
Connected to the tracking of the stars was the practice of drawing lines between them to create constellations, which exist in the historical records of humanity's earliest civilizations. It also appears that these civilizations had some form of what is referred to as the zodiac wheel.
The ancients decided that they would create a division of the heavens based upon the movement of the sun through one yearly cycle. And as it does this, it passes through 12 different constellations. And these become the zodiacal signs that we know today. But these ideas go back to Babylonian times and even the Sumerians as much as 5,000 years ago.
A calendar, a crop planting guide, weather forecast. It seems like it was the first version of Google. One of the most popular elements of astrology are zodiac signs. Ancient Babylonians divided the sky into 12 areas and assigned each area with a specific symbol, name, and meaning. They believed that depending on the time of your birth, the attributes or characteristics associated with that zodiac sign determined your personality. So, zodiac signs seem to be the ancient version of the Myers-Briggs type of personality test, right? Well, not exactly. Personality tests just group people according to certain traits, mindset, or behavior style. It's more focused on how you react to and process situations or relate with people. Zodiac signs, on the other hand, like all of astrology, try to use some supernatural power to prophesy or guess the future. The Babylonians associated zodiac signs with gods and goddesses. The names of each set of constellations were derived from Eastern, Greek, and Roman cultures. For example, Taurus is associated with the Greek myth of Europa and Zeus. Virgo is associated with the goddesses Artemis, Aphrodite, and Astrea, while Cancer is associated with Hera and Hercules. So the zodiac was developed by pagans who associated the signs with their gods and goddesses and used it to foresee the future. Seems like a good enough reason not to get involved in it, right? But what does the church have to say about it? Like other ancient practices, astrology and divination is mentioned in the Bible as well. Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 19 says, "And beware lest you lift up your eyes to heaven, and when you see the sun and the moon and the stars, all the host of heaven, you be drawn away and worship them and serve them, things which the Lord your God has allotted to all the peoples under the whole heaven." A more explicit warning against astrology and divination is in Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 10 to 14, which says, "There shall not be found among you anyone who burns his son or his daughter as an offering, anyone who practices divination, a soothsayer, or an augur, or a sorcerer, or a charmer, or a medium, or a wizard, a necromancer. For whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord, and because of these abominable practices, the Lord your God is driving them out before you. You shall be blameless before the Lord your God. For these nations which you are about to dispossess, give heed to soothsayers and to diviners, but as for you, the Lord your God has not allowed you to do so." In Leviticus chapter 19 verse 26 and 31 it says, "You shall not eat any flesh with the blood in it. You shall not practice augury or witchcraft. Do not turn to mediums or wizards. Do not seek them out to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God." In 1 Samuel chapter 15 verse 23 it says, "For rebellion is as the sin of divination, and presumption is as iniquity and idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he has also rejected you from being king." Now in 2 Kings chapter 17 verse 17 it says, "And they burned their sons and their daughters as offerings, and used divination and sorcery, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord, provoking him to anger." The Israelites lived among people, especially Babylonians, who practiced divination. God warned them through prophets to stay away from such practices. The early church too warned Christians against such beliefs. John Chrysostom said, "And in fact, a deep night oppresses the whole world. This is what we have to dispel and dissolve. For many Catholics entirely disbelieve the resurrection. Many fortify themselves with the horoscope. Many adhere to superstitious observances and to omens and auguries and presages." St. Augustine also said, "To whom then must we make an answer first? To the heretics or to the astrologers? For both come from the serpent and desire to corrupt the church's virginity of heart, which she holds in undefiled faith." So, what's the main problem with astrology? The Catechism of the Catholic Church says in 2116, "All forms of divination are to be rejected. Recourse to Satan or demons, conjuring up the dead, or other practices falsely supposed to unveil the future, consulting horoscopes, astrology, palm reading, interpretation of omens and lots, the phenomena of clairvoyance, and recourse to mediums all conceal a desire for power over time, history, and in their last analysis, other human beings, as well as wish to conciliate hidden powers. They contradict the honor, respect, and loving fear that we owe to God alone." The first commandment says, "You shall not have other gods besides me." When we try to use occult practices to determine the future, we place our trust or make decisions based on powers or forces other than God. By relying on astrology, we deny God's sovereignty and supreme authority over our lives. Our destiny depends on our free will, not on the alignment of the stars. As Catholics, we are called to place our trust in God. Only He has the authority to shape our destinies. It's quite natural to be curious about your future, but using horoscopes is like trying to take a shortcut instead of relying on God's providence and trusting in His plan for our lives. So, would you still check your horoscope? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you like this new format, let us know by liking and subscribing to our channel. Until next time.